Hello and welcome to Kickstarter Talk, issue 23. A gentleman don't play cat and mouse while going west to the wall of lies to seek the Phantom Hawk. What does all that mean? You guys are going to have to wait through the program to find out. And let's get to that program. But before we go to the program, I just wanted to check out two important features that you guys should know about before we go down our list. And we started always with this. Supporting Kickstarter takes just $1. That $1 can show support, attract attention, and those are different. Fund projects, support creators, and create new worlds. And it can also help destroy, kill, eradicate the reboot culture that we live in. And Kickstarter for the Independent Creator is second edition, a practical and informative guide to crowdfunding, can be yours on Amazon and help you prepare to make a Kickstarter that will blast off of the Kickstarter platform and into your readers' hands. Jax D. Anderson has just came back into the room. He is come in. He's leaving. He's done with his toy, so he'll be back throughout the program, I'm sure. So let's get into the program and see what we're talking about. As always, we have the amazing list that you can find in Kickstarter Talk here. And we'll go through it real quickly just so you know what will be on the program today. We have The Gentleman, Superscript, Cat and Mouse, Power Knights, Liar, Go West, Sword Maidens, Wolves, Galaxia, Bobby Fulton and the Fantastics, Terracona, The Phantom Hawk, Elk Mountain, Crossing, Ducky, Cthulhu Kids, Ruby, Reign of Cthulhu, Project Axis, The Fist, and Into the Darkness. And today, we are actually going to be looking at a unique way that this isn't a Kickstarter, so that's why it's not actually on the Kickstarter list. I don't really know how to classify what this is. You guys are going to have to watch the program, watch the show with me. And we're actually going to start the show with it right now. Now, it was very weird. I didn't even have a close date for it. I just found out today that I think there's only 2 days left. That's why we're starting right now with this program. It's called Homeward. It's a science fiction comic book for the youth. And I'm going to give you guys the video to check out. Now, this will be in This Week in Indie Comics versus Kickstarter because it's not a Kickstarter, and I didn't want to put it there. The video takes a few seconds to load. I'm not exactly sure why. But off we go to Homeward.
Hey, I'm Francis and I write.
And I'm Laurence and I draw.
We want to offer you Homeward, our upcoming sci-fi comic book for kids, in an exclusive way.
Homeward's a story about two teenagers, Fred and Bert, who are raised in space by the robot spaceship. They don't know they're human, but when they find out, they want to go home.
Along the way, they meet a bunch of creatures and learn that what makes you the person you are those around you.
Homeward's almost finished, but we need your help to get to the end goal of printed books.
We're looking for financial help for the following things: printing the books, shipping costs, and extras.
Here's how you can help. Step 1. Throughout the month of May, head over to our page on Ulule. If you're already there, then you can skip to Step 2.
Back our project. You can contribute by check, e-transfer, or credit card payment.
For instructions on how to do that, head over to the payment section on the Ulule page.
But why contribute on Ulule rather than waiting for the book in stores? By contributing, you can get a signed copy of Homeward and a bunch of other goodies like magnets, stickers, prints, and concept art.
We really love this project and the story, and we hope you guys will too.
So participate in our campaign by getting your copy on Ulule and tell your friends. Spreading the news will help the campaign succeed. Thank you.
Yes, if you want to find out more about Fred and Bert and their adventure, look out for the character reveals on the Ulule news section, or check out our Facebook page or Instagram in the links below.
Now, isn't that cool? I don't fully understand the site. It is kind of new to me. I don't understand it, but you can get there by just hitting right here and instantly transform yourself over there and check it out. I looked at the site. It looks like a Kickstarter, but not. It's kind of like Indiegogo and Kickstarter had a kid. We're quickly going to go to Facebook to cover one of the Kickstarters we have is Liar. And if I just saw right, the creator of Liar, Jeff Kaufman, is
writing all the books. I probably in this spot right here, I've conservatively wrote 7 books. Now, when you see somebody at Starbucks, most of the time they're just cruising their Facebook or watching Netflix. But we're doing that now. Some good news: we've got about $700 left till we hit the $7,500 mark on Kickstarter, which is cool because everyone who bought an actual book is going to get the Terminal Alice variant cover book. So that means you're getting just a whole new graphic novel for those who haven't read it. For those who have read it, you get the collector's edition, which is kind of cool. Now, I don't very rarely bring those to conventions. You know, ooh, you are now live on Kickstarter Talk. Oh, cool. All right. Well, you know, when it comes down to it, you know, we've accomplished a lot. You know, I'm a small indie publisher. I never thought we would do this, but thanks to everybody out there, I mean, we've gone way above anything I could have imagined. I thought it would just pay for shipping. The idea that this book would do as well as it does so far is amazing. I mean, people ask why Kickstarter. Said, isn't that for just people who you know, don't have too much experience and can't make the money somewhere else? No, it's not about that. There are a lot of us out there who put out really solid work. Who you know, the amount of money on these books are ridiculous. I mean, to do a good book is conservatively, I'd say $25,000 if you're talking about a 100-page graphic novel. And you know, if you want to pay your people and you want to take care of people, this is the way you do it. You know, the people who make artist promises, like there's going to be a back end and they're going to be able to make a lot of money, very rarely does that come true. You know, so what you have to do when you're thinking about this stuff is you have to go, okay, I want to make sure my artists are taken care of. I want to make sure the colorists, the people who work on the book. And then hopefully when you're sitting at a convention like we were at MegaCon, and I actually get the opportunity to hand a book over, it's just an amazing feeling to be able to do. Now, when we're talking about the ability to keep going in this business, now I saw somebody run his Kickstarter the other day, and I mean, he was up to like $35,000, and he had a big name, and that was kind of. And you do more and more of these, that things can work out, and that people would rather sometimes get the book here when they can't see at a convention. So that we're clear on a lot of things. I mean, we only have 36 hours left, and 36 hours goes really, really fast. But we've been picking it up, and I think we can get to 7,500. And I guess I want to announce a little special deal here. Everybody who supports the book at the $20 level will be put in the back of my next book that goes to print, which will be Schizo. Schizo will come out in November, but everybody who supports the book and buys the actual book and gets copies of it will be put, you know, in the book, which is kind of cool. And I'm also going to be offering another push goal. I found out that the ability that I can help people out and be able to teach them how to do this stuff is insane because I've written so many books. So what I'm going to do is I think we're going to set a push goal. I mean, not a push goal, but a regular book sale. We're going to add that on where if you buy all the books, I'm going to give you 2 hours of my time. And I'm going to do whether it be Skype, phone, or you come to a convention, and I will go over your book with you, work out the outlines, work out everything, not steal it, and basically help you set from the intro to the exit of what your ideas should be and shouldn't be. Now, how is that important? Well, when I do a panel, you know, the big part about it is I teach people to know their ending. Well, in 2 hours, I can basically put your book together. So we're going to be setting that goal up probably by the beginning of tomorrow morning. Now, people can upgrade to that, and that'll be buying the books, and you'll get 2 hours of my time. And we're only going to do probably 2 backers in that because, you know, I don't have 2 hours, much less 6 hours to do that 20 or 30 times. But the cool part about it is that'll be an offer. Also, for those who don't remember, everyone's going to get a signed copy of the 9/11 print that we just did. You're going to get the push goals. I believe we have 2 digital graphic novels coming. Now, I really don't think we're going to get to 10,000, but I'm going to have to come up with something cute tomorrow morning when I wake up, because it's actually kind of fun. You feel kind of like Santa by doing these things. You know, you get to give away a lot of stuff that people can't normally get a hold of, and also it's a great way to talk to people, a great way to meet people. It's also kind of interesting. You really get to know who really gives a crap about you, because you know there are people out there who you've supported for years, and you know, you support their Kickstarters, you do everything. But when it comes to yours, oh, no aquí. For those who are not from Florida, that means not here. But then again, there are guys out there who don't have any money. And please, if you don't have money, don't kill yourself to do this. I mean, the truth is that when you're doing these things, the idea is that, you know, not make people broke. Now, my friend David Craig, who I can't reveal his secret identity for at least another 3 weeks. But David Craig, you know, put money in this book, and he's putting his money towards another little endeavor right now, which you know, thumbs up, dude. I really support you on that. To my friend Billy Tucci, you know, congratulations. You know, I heard you had a good trip to Phoenix. A lot of great things going on. MegaCon was fantastic. The idea of being able to, we had a panel where there were like 70 people there, and it was amazing to see what people were dealing with and how they were suffering. Oh, she ordered some. See, that's the problem with doing a live feed at Starbucks. You actually make people's orders. But I think tomorrow night we're going to do the live feed. We're going to do for the last tail end of this. It's going to be really serious. So I feel really good. Oh, look, Jennifer Wick. Jennifer Wick, a truly special human being who has been supportive for my books for a very long time. Let's see, the people I need to mention a lot. I got to mention, you know, of course, you know, Dave Craig, Phil, Josh Jeppy, Steve Jeppy, Claiborne Moore, God, my wife, my children, well, my other child isn't that helpful. You'd have to know Jakey boy to know it. There ain't no help coming from Jakey. You know, it's kind of cool to be able to have the support system I have to my partner Craig, to the people at the office who put up with my nonsense. I finally get why Oscar's speeches suck, because there is no way you can remember everybody involved in the book. To Jim Brown, who works hard, to Federico, who kills himself on these books, to my friend Ben, who works really hard, to my brother-in-law Ben, who works harder, to David, who supports us, to all the people who didn't have any money to be able to do this and actually chipped in little by little by little to have this possible. While it's real big when you get the huge donors, in the end, it's about, you know, the little piece. It's about the $10 and the $20 that comes in, you know, the 50 of those, the 80 of those. Everyone doesn't have money. And, you know, the truth is, about 2.5 years ago, I started over from scratch again. I left a law firm I had been with for 18 years and took the risk to, you know, keep fighting. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that's a very tough decision to do when you still want to do comic books. And every month that I was able to keep producing these things was just, I mean, sometimes even a nightmare, where I didn't know if I was going to be able to go to Comic-Con and be able to sit there and push my books and do all the great things that, you know, to do. But in the end, you know, you just have to, you know, try to do it all. This year we're doing Comic-Con again. And the idea to be able to, you know, be out there and pushing the books again, and pushing the books, and to have Liar out there, and to have, you know, the Roulette out there, and all the new books, and have people come by the booth every year and go, I'll take everything new. Whatever new you have is just I wish I could tell you that it's, you ever get used to it. But, you know, I don't. And I see people sometimes who don't appreciate that. And I just want you to know something. I will never, ever stop appreciating the people who come up to me and say, hey, dude, you know, I love that last book, or I love the book you did 6 years ago, and I've been looking for you. I know how that feels to be hunting for books and to look for that peace of mind where a certain writer or a certain artist just does something for you in a way that, you know, you just don't have a clue about it. It's just I will never use the word surreal, so you never have to worry about that. I mean, basically, I have to basically be guaranteed a $5 million movie immediately in Comic-Con booth space for life to ever say it's surreal. So you most likely will never hear that word out of my mouth. I like to use the words ridiculously humbling. So again, you know, thanks to everybody who supports the book and comes out and do that. I will never forget it. And I think it's, you know, when I see this campaign over the last 30 days, I'm blown away by it. I'm blown away by the people out there who constantly send me nice notes and do these great things. But we're not over yet. We have about, like I said, about $700 in the next 36 hours to be able to get us to the next level so that everyone gets good stuff. I mean, they're already getting good stuff, but for an extra $700, about a little $750, everyone gets like a brand new book, a book that hasn't seen the light of day in conservatively 5 years, because I don't, you know, we did those variants, and to bring the extra variant with me. And I just noticed that I had these 2 boxes. Instead of waiting for the movie to come out and make a ridiculous amount of money, I thought I would just give it to you. So again, oh, Jennifer, that's really nice of you. I mean, to have people who, you know, I see year after year after year at every convention and every moment, to, you know, it's when you stand in a 2-foot area at these conventions for 10 hours at a time, and you're just thinking to yourself, you know, is this worth it? Am I doing right? And you're selling 1 book at a time, and 1 book at a time, and 1 book at a time, and you wonder when that day will come where you don't have to fight as hard. And it hits me. It wouldn't be as fun if I didn't have to. If I didn't have to call that person over who was just walking by to give them the story about my book, to tell what my book's about 50 to 100 times that day. You lose perspective over what you're doing when you don't have to be in front of it and hold it up to your face and say, trust me, this is a good book. Now for 11 years, I've been doing that. As I get older and do more of these, you know, the quality of the book has to go up too. And hopefully I've been able to do that.
How are you?
Good. Oh, look at Russ Rollins.
In this weather.
Sorry, Russ just chimed in and told me to thank. I'm working with a book right now with Russ called Jolly Jane Pins and Needles, which is it's a really cool thing to be able to work with somebody. And what Russ has taught me is that over the last 11 years, what I have learned about writing is, how can I put it? It's like night and day. The way I see a character, the way I say to Russ sometimes, that character, you know, she wouldn't say that when I talk about something. She wouldn't, or he wouldn't say that. I mean, these people exist. And in my panel, I try to make that clear to people. Everybody's got cute ideas, but how about just write really good ones? How about see a character and want him to say the perfect words? How about fight to get those words out? And I'm not talking about writer's block. I'm talking about when you are dying for somebody to remember a line you used. Now, at Dragon Con, a young lady came up to me and started saying these really cool lines. And I was like, wow, that's cool. Where would that come from? She goes, oh, it came from one of your books. And I was laughing. And I'm not saying that because I write good lines. I say that because when the characters talk out of you, you really don't remember what they said because you didn't write the line. The character did. And that's when you know you really own it. Now, that's some of the things I'm going to do. You know, hopefully we'll get our New York panel, and hopefully we'll get a couple other panels going where we can talk about all the cool things when people come to me and they say, well, like the panel we just did at MegaCon, this wasn't about just writing comic books. It was about, you know, doing something in your life that means something to you, to fight for something you actually love, to pay attention to the day. I mean, what I do here, this isn't about writing comic books to go to movies. This is paying attention to the day. This is me wanting to create something. This is me feeling a need to accomplish something more than, oh, look, I'm rich. Anybody can be rich in money, but it is almost impossible to be rich in friendship. I mean, I was out with Josh and Kevin, just sitting there talking about life, talking about the good times. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize that, but when you write comic books, most of your relationships are with people who don't live in your state. So what happens is that the only time to get to see people is when you're on the road and you're at a convention. You've just killed yourself for 12 hours. But that dinner where you're sitting across the table from somebody just laughing and eating and having a couple drinks, it's like the gold standard of what we get to do here. And I hope someday that some of you get to experience that, to find that camaraderie around creators. You know, for years I didn't think of what I did as an art, but eventually when you feel you're good enough at it, I guess you do think of it that way. So in the end, I guess, oh, Jen Beeman, my daughter is still waiting for a copy of Scary Fails. All right, Jenny, how about message me your address and I'll put it out tomorrow. Get them to send that out from the office so that everyone knows Jenny Brown Beeman is so good to my son during these Disney runs that every time I go on the runs with him, he just looks at me and goes, where's Jenny Beeman? That's a terrible, actually, that's a pretty spot-on imitation, my son. Where's the Beemans? And that's the one thing in books that you're able to do. You're able to add little pieces to it. Like, for example, Joey Fatone was at the booth the other day, and we were talking about autism awareness, because you'd be surprised at how many people are actually dealing with it. So I make sure to include it in my books. I push it and everything else. So not only do comic books help me achieve my dream, but it also allows me to get out to a lot of people about, you know, this issue that I deal with, and so many other people deal with it too. I guess I just wanted to thank you all for supporting me. Adam Baum, ridiculous. Adam Baum, he reminds me, Adam is like a ninja. You know, oh my God, Ninja Millionaire. I like that.
I would have loved to stay on, but we do got to move the show forward. For those who want to see the rest of that, you can just go over to Jeff's page and finish watching the video after you finish watching ours, of course. So we got some great content for you guys still today. We skipped ahead. We're going to go all the way back and start with the gentleman, and we will see Liar in its normal position. This is the gentleman, Darkness of the Void. Oliver Sullivan, a.k.a. the gentleman, finds his next case to be a tale of Lovecraftian horror.
I watch it all escape their eyes. All hope, all standing memories of the good times evaporate from their faces. The lines and lifeless eyes now showcase a myriad of hurt, pain, heartbreak. This is the portrait I've grown accustomed to. It still breaks my own heart to read those changed faces. Not being desensitized at least helps me feel human still. Time heals all wounds, they say. But what exactly do they know? They seem to never take into account the ripple effects that happen. And not everyone is built to bounce back so quickly, unfortunately. Some people, instead of healing, find means to do something stupid.
Hi, my name is Greg Anderson Elise, and I am the writer of The Gentleman, Darkness of the Void. Spinning off from Evolu Zion's SFC Comics line, Darkness of the Void follows the character of the gentleman Oliver Solomon, a Lovecraftian-inspired horror noir story about the haunting ghosts from the past, along with the ghosts from the forthcoming future. In this 4-part miniseries, the gentleman finds himself drawn to a mysterious woman seeking life and protection from a mysterious being of possibly supernatural origins. Unfortunately, to protect her, Oliver must succumb to his special abilities, a hereditary curse that uses his body as a key and vessel to the void, an ancient evil with the means to destroy all life as we know it. This journey will find Oliver struggling with his past, his curse, and the connection to the void. Can this mysterious woman help him? Can she be trusted? What is her connection to Oliver and the void itself? I'm deeply honored to have been approached by creator Marcel Dupree. I find this character to be both a challenge and refreshing for me to write and develop, especially with the prospect of exploring and tackling Black characters in such a horror noir fantasy setting. With art by Massimiliano Veltri and Marco Pagnotta. On behalf of the whole team, we at Evolus Zion Publishing hope that you're willing to take this dark and surreal journey with us. Thank you.
Now remember, this is a spin-off from the amazing SFC, which is available on the actual Kickstarter itself, and is just an amazing group of creators come together. So it's your way to jump on. Mind you, time is running out. If you're watching this video now, that means there's only hours left to go. Don't wait. Don't be left out. Make sure you back this today. Another thing for the writers and the wannabe writers, and I don't mean that as a discouraging thing. I mean that literally. Some people want to be writers. They're artists. They're just starting, and they feel very overwhelmed by script writing. Well, hey, check this.
Ready? Time. Writers today have dozens of text editors to choose from, but none of them really make it easier to write for comic books. When I began writing comics, I wanted a text editor that would take care of the tedious parts of writing to let me focus on my characters and story. Superscript does just that. Superscript formats and numbers page and panel headings for you as you type, even recalculating the numbers automatically when you go back to edit. Superscript also tallies up your spoken word count per page, panel, and bubble. It auto-completes your fictional character names, and unlike web-based text editors, Superscript allows you to keep control over your own documents, to save and share however you want. But we're not quite there yet. We need your help to pay for QA testing, website development, licensing, distribution services, drawing pie charts, more testing, and then more development.
Now, for those of you who want more details on this, please click the link. And if you're interested in becoming a writer, this is your opportunity. So there is some like, I guess, tutorials on it. And there's also a free version that you can get now. Time is running out, though. So don't wait. Act now and get your new sidekick today. We're going to talk about Cat and Mouse. Cat and Mouse #1, the first issue of a 4-issue miniseries set in the city of New Orleans. And action, crime, drama, comic miniseries. Don't play cat and mouse. Click back here to back this amazing Kickstarter. And here's the video to see why.
Hi, and welcome to the Kickstarter for Cat and Mouse #1. My name is Roland Mann, and I'm the writer for the comic. Cat and Mouse #1 is the first of a 4-issue miniseries. The first issue contains 22 pages of story and art. And while you can read more about the story below, in a nutshell, this is a crime action drama with a smattering of superheroics tossed in. It deals with an issue that's important to me, and that is the issue of human trafficking and human slavery. It's an epidemic that is often overlooked and is happening right under our noses. And while the theme is an adult one, the book is a general audience book, as we believe this is the kind of story that should be accessible to readers of any age. And we've assembled a rock star creative team too, at least on the art side. As a fun little piece of trivia, all 4 of us are Malibu Comics alum. In fact, that's how I know Dean Zachary, Mark Kalberg, and Kevin Gallagly. Collectively, we've got over 100 years of experience in our respective skills, but we're not as old as that makes us sound. If you don't remember Malibu, you'll have to look them up, but they're the company that originally published Men in Black. And if Cat and Mouse sounds familiar to you, yep, A Different Story was published in the late 80s and the early 90s by EF Graphics, and then by Malibu's Aircell. The Aircell series lasted for 18 issues and was in the Comic Shop News Top 10 Black and White comics for about half the run. Anyway, thank you for checking us out. There are lots of pledge levels, a little something for everyone. Pledge if you can. Share the heck out of this regardless. We can't do this without your help. Thanks a lot.
Just an absolutely amazing group of creators coming to one place to create a fantastic new series. You got to check it out. It's on Kickstarter for a limited time. Don't wait. Act today and be part of it. Another amazing project coming to an end this week and blasting off of Kickstarter is Power Knights. Let's check out what's going on with the Power Knights. Once known as Tyrants of the Galaxy, the Power Knights are inspired by 2 brothers to become heroes on Earth. Become a knight and back it on Kickstarter today. I promise I'm not muting it. There's just no sound right now. There you go.
Hello, my name is Keith Jones. I am the owner of Kid Jones. I am the owner of Kid Comics. I'm also the creator of the Power Knights. The Power Knights is something that I created, drew, written, and colored. I also had help from Chris Ward, a co-writer and friend of mine. And we are working on issue 4, and that's what this Kickstarter is for. And we're hoping for your support. Please check out our Kickstarter below, and you'll see the details of the story and all the awards that we're offering. I want to keep this short by just saying that the Power Knights, I hope, inspires you to face your challenges in life like it inspired myself. And because this whole journey of making this comic has taken me in places I've never been, meeting folks I've never met, obviously, running into different cultures, meeting, like I said, meeting different types of people. And it's been a real eye-opening experience for me. And I put a lot of that experience in the book, including a lot of personal things I've dealt with in my life. So I hope that when you read the book that you'll find inspiration in it, and that you'll continue to be a fan of the series and come back for future issues. Once again, my name is Keith Jones. I appreciate your support. Please get into the Kickstarter, find out what this whole journey is about, and let's do this. Thank you very much.
No, I absolutely love how passionate it is. And on this program, as you guys know, I always say diversity lives in indie comics. Now, I tell you no lie, Liar is an amazing comic book. I got to sit in at a panel at MegaCon this past weekend, and Jeffrey Kaufman was the one hosting it. And I was blown away. As someone who's been doing panels for over a decade, this was a gentleman who gave it straightforward, absolutely informative. If you can watch one of his panels online or attend them, I greatly suggest it. Liar is a graphic novel, 112-page full color. We got to see him talk about the book a little bit, but let's see the trailer now. Oop, I got to turn it up because we had it muted.
Kaufman from Big City Comic Studios. I'm the publisher and writer of Liar. Liar is about a 22-year-old New York film student whose father lied to him his whole life. I mean, terrible lies. And every time he turned around, his father was telling him this big one and that big one. And finally, his father comes to him and says, "The truth is, son, I'm a spy. And I tell all these lies to keep you and your mother safe, because as long as I'm not a threat to the organization, nobody will ever come looking for me." The problem is this, is that he now knows too much. And he says, they're going to come looking for you to fill in for me. So all the stuff I've taught you, all the bizarre lessons, the stories, everything else, you're going to have to deliver for me. Of course, Gabriel thinks that this is nonsense. And a year later, he's playing on his Xbox. And suddenly a mission comes over on his television. And he thinks it's a joke until suddenly there's a video of his mother. And they're saying, in 15 minutes, if you don't do what we tell you to do, your mother dies. And that's basically where Liar came from. I wrote Liar during the time period where my dad was sick and dying, and he passed before the book was finished. And I didn't realize how much of what was going on in my life was actually occurring in the pages of this book. In this book, Gabriel has a problem with his dad. He doesn't realize the problem is that he sees so much of himself in his father. That's what really bothers him. And I think this book really teaches us that everything good and bad about them, sometimes winds up in us. Why Kickstarter? For years, I didn't get it. Kickstarter is really about the community. It's about getting people involved in the book so that those people who can't get to San Diego Comic-Con or New York or Dragon Con or MegaCon or Chicago have an opportunity to actually be part of the creation of a book. Now, we do need this. I mean, we are an independent publisher. All the artwork's done, and you will help us make sure it gets to print with all the other cool options we want to include in it. I really can't thank you enough. This is a huge deal. To be able to keep publishing these books, to be able to keep putting these out and creating these is such a big deal to the people out there, to me, to my family, and to the readers out there who don't normally get an opportunity to read anything outside of the big two.
Maintain control, find the inner strength in the totem pole. Every day's a war that you have to win. They gave forgiveness for your father's sins. The battle for a soul. Maintain control, find the inner strength in the totem pole. Every day's a war that you have to win. They gave forgiveness for your father's sins.
Told you guys, I always bring you some of the best, amazing comic books out there on the market on this show, and that was definitely one of them. How interesting is that? I know I backed it. Time's running out. Don't wait. Go out and back it today. All right, let's check out. And I give the warning here. This is adults only. This is Sword Maidens. And send your hate mail or your complaints to writtensins@yahoo.com. I don't think the video should get me in trouble, but the content, I'm sure, will get me some nasty emails. And if you're going to address death threats, please don't use smiley faces. Who does that? I can't take you
I know the lies, it's hard. You and if I'm walking on the beach or drifting down the sea, watching over me when I find you to believe in me.
All right, Swords of Maidens looks amazing. It's not for everyone, and it doesn't have to be. For those interested in it, back it now as time's almost up. Time to go west with the collected edition of 96-page graphic novel written by Garrett Gunn. Now, I know some guys and gals might want to know more about that. Check out our insights into it at the video and the thread for Kickstarter Last Rites. We dug deeper and we found some extra content to talk to you guys about and found out some amazing stuff about it. Check it out today. Every time I see this, I think of the Walls of Jericho, but this is nothing like the Walls of Jericho. Check out Walls.
In my nightmares, I am alone, and God has abandoned me. But when I wake, it is much worse. The world outside is desolation. It is a world punished for having forgotten the word of God. I have come to know this age by the sadness of it,
I have come to know myself by struggling with the sins it inspires. Just as this plague has gripped tightly the people of this land in its fist, so has its curse fallen on my heart and blackened my soul, which I had cultivated as pure, pointed upwards to the kingdom of heaven. Pure, I no longer am. Europe is shadowed by clouds of smoke from the burning dead, and ashes rain upon those left alive. The Black Plague has vanquished over half of our people. We the living fearfully cling to our faith, believing the blight of the land to be punishment for our transgressions. The wages of sin are death, and death is what we find in common. Death is the language of God and the music of his voice. The people flock to reliquaries, where pieces of our saints are held in gilded reverence. They pay their penance in the form of monetary donations, giving what little they have to further the only institution which still thrives in these broken lands. The Church. I make my own penitence, cloistered behind these walls, cut off from the world in an effort to contemplate the nature of God and atone for my sins. In the shadows of my seclusion, I wait for salvation, but my visions of the God that I serve are changing. I am beginning to understand that I am not alone.
Walls will be a new graphic novel from the mind of Zachary Anderson of Dark Elf Designs, captured in images by Joshua Mitchell Taylor of Gigglemania Studios. The story will be a foray into one of the darkest times in human history, focusing on an original, complicated central character. In this thrilling and demon-haunted world, even the brightest spark of hope is only a shadowed glimmer on the tooth of a predator.
All right, that's creepy. So if you're into creepy, like scary type books, this is definitely for you. Whoa. And what's really cool is we get to follow that up with Galaxian and One Freaker God. It's the perfect like pairing of like a wine and a perfect cheese.
Hi everyone, my name is Kieran Roditelli. I'm the creator and writer of Glashol. Glashol is a book I've been working on for over a year with the artist Rob Canyon. Glashol is a gift I'm making to the young version of myself. The 10 years old guy that was playing hours and hours to Borderland games and Fallout games inside while Quebec winter was smashing outside. This Kickstarter campaign is to help that kid dream to come alive. Thank you so much for being on the Kickstarter campaign and being interested or just curious about that project. It's really appreciated. And thank you so much for watching this video. And if you have a question or anything, please message me on Kickstarter, go on Facebook, go anywhere, ask me anything about the project. Thank you so much for passing by this Kickstarter campaign. You can find all the rewards and information under this video. Thank you so much again. It's really appreciated. Have a nice day.
It's always the nice ones that makes the craziest things, right? No, I'm just kidding. I love that, the inspiration, the throwback to childhood. It's amazing. Galaxia is Fallout meets Borderlands in a world 100% made of ice, snow. I guess snow would be there, and weirdos. Be ready to get your heart frozen. Speaking of your heart, let's take it back to the 1980s with wrestling royalty. It's Bobby Fulton and the Fantastics. Remember pro wrestling in the 1980s? The hair, the flashy costumes, the swagger. No tag team personified it like the Fantastics.
The Fantastics are coming down. They might be the underdogs going in, brother, but we'll be walking out proud with $1 million stacked high.
Thanks, but $1 million, you know, Tom, imagine what you could do to us. Us being only about 5'10" ourselves, I bet it could go clear to the ceiling, brother. I'd like to just stack that up for the fun and just see how high it went.
Hey, folks, this is Bobby Fulton of the Fantastics, and I'm excited about what John Crowther and all the great folks are doing concerning a comic book. Bobby Fulton of the Fantastics, I hope you support it. I can't wait to see it out there. It's wonderful.
The Fantastics were Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, one of the premier tag teams in wrestling from 1984 to 2007. Their feuds with the Sheep Herders and the Midnight Express in the 1980s and 90s are the stuff of wrestling legend and led to many tag team titles, including the NWA United States Tag Team belts and the WCWA Tag Team Championship. Now, the story of Bobby Fulton and the Fantastic comes to Squared Circle Comics, to be told in the high style you come to expect from our comics based on Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Nikolai Volkov, and more. This 24-page comic is the first of 3 planned issues written by wrestling historian John Crowther, illustrated by Javier Lugo, and colored by Blake Wilkie. We need you to make the Fantastics comic book biography a reality. And in return for your support, you choose from a cornucopia of Fantastic memorabilia. The comic is available with 3 different colors, one exclusive to this Kickstarter campaign, and another including an original art sketch by Javier Lugo. Of course, Bobby Fulton is also autographing a limited supply of comics, trading cards, magazines, and DVDs for our backers. You can even have yourself drawn into issue 2 of the series, our own original art from the comic, including each of these covers. Join us in creating a fitting tribute to the legacy of Bobby Fulton and the Fantastics, won't you?
I know that I'm ready to tag in for this amazing Kickstarter. But speaking of amazing things, what if a t-shirt could help fund your book? Let's find out what's up with Frank James Bailey and his t-shirt campaign.
Hello, how are you? My name is Frank James Bailey. I am a voice actor and a writer. I've written 3 books: Turkana Book 1, Our New Home, Turkana Book 2, Dr. Kuhn the Banana Gun, and Turkana Book 3, Trinity Traps. They're available on Amazon.com and Turkana.com as well. My next adventure is a comic book. Now, the only problem is I'm not an artist, I'm a writer, so I have to hire artists to make the pages and draw the pictures. Well, this is where you guys come in. Sort of. I know I have a lot of fans who like Turkana already. I've written 3 books, and the Turkana fan club on Facebook has well over 3,000 people who like the page or are members of the fan club. And I've reached a lot of people, and people are drawing Turkana as well. So hopefully, people will have people will support me in trying to raise money so I can pay my artist and make the T-shirt. I'm sorry, make the comic book, which will be out sometime in 2019. That's the goal. Here's how the t-shirt campaign works. I'm starting t-shirts off at $20 each. Now, if they were any lower, like $15, I'd have to sell at least 50 of them to actually have them make the t-shirt, because you use your credit card and you buy the t-shirt, but none of it is charged until the campaign is over with. And when the campaign is over with, I have to sell a certain amount of them to meet their deadline or their criteria, their borderline. And if I meet that that number, then they print off all the t-shirts, and everything after that is money that I make. So if I sell at least 25 t-shirts, then they'll make all the t-shirts in 30 days. I'm hoping to sell a lot more than just 25, because the more money I raise, the better I can make this comic book look. So I really need your help. This way you get a good-looking, cool Turkana t-shirt, and I get to raise money to help fund my comic book of Turkana. So I'd really appreciate it if you were to check out the t-shirt here, buy a t-shirt, and help me fund the next Turkana comic book. Thanks a lot for watching my video, and thanks a lot for buying a t-shirt. Bye-bye.
So now that's an interesting idea that I wouldn't have thought of. A t-shirt to get it. I mean, we all put t-shirts sometimes, not all. All is a big statement. Some of us put t-shirts in our Kickstarters, is more accurate. And that does help fund the Kickstarter. It is unique, to say the least. So I've been watching this campaign, seeing how it turned on. Frank James Bailey, amazing creator. Speaking of amazing, let's talk about the return of the Phantom Hawk.
All right, afternoon, everybody. It's today's mission briefing. It's today's date. Time is 19:30 hours. All right, guys. We just received actionable intel on target 08011978. Master Sergeant Maximilian Nicholas Malone, Communications Sergeant, 5th Special Forces Group, former member of ODA 590. We know this guy. We've heard of him. The guy's a legend. For the last few months, there's been reports of an aggressive vigilante in Crestview City, and he's been calling himself the Phantom Hawk. So far, he's been knocking over pharmaceutical companies, mob bosses, and drug dealers. The subject now seems to be content just dealing out a little street justice. No big deal, right? Something we all wish we could do. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. About 4 weeks ago, we received a blood sample. It was sent to a forensics lab in connection with this Phantom Hawk character. Now, their search didn't yield any results, but it ended up in our database. When we intercepted the DNA pattern, we were able to figure out who it is. This blood belongs to Master Sergeant Malone. Now, prior to this, Master Sergeant Malone was believed to be killed in a terrorist attack outside of Crestview City when a secret CIA facility was blown all to hell. And some government tech was stolen prior to the explosion. So we have it on good authority that not only is Master Sergeant Malone alive and well, but he may have a connection to, if not be, this Phantom Hawk character. Now, this is just a warning letter. As more information becomes available and DC gives us the green light to go get this guy, we will interdict Master Sergeant Malone and recover any stolen government tech in association with this target. But for right now, I want you guys to get some rest, refit, and prepare to move out at 0900. This is Nick Garber, president of Apogee Comics and the creator of Phantom Hawk. I'm so pleased to be launching this project today. I created Phantom Hawk about 25 years ago and started making comics about him in 2011. It has been a long road filled with excitement as I've shared this story with all of you. Now we get to launch Phantom Hawk in the Apogee Comics universe. With a story by Ray Merrick III and drawn by Dino Agor with colors by the fabulous DC Alonso, who's done color work on the Crimson Guardians and War Drums. This story is a continuation of the original series as we move Phantom Hawk further into the Apogee universe with an introduction of his most lethal villain to date, Blood Raven. In this issue, you will see Phantom Hawk faced with challenges never before encountered. He no longer has the public trust. The cops no longer see him on their side. And there is blood in the water, so to speak. This will be a trying time for Phantom Hawk as he navigates through this world of deception and setup. So here we are with the Kickstarter. This is where we need your help as backers. Every cent made during this campaign will go towards production and distribution of this comic. We have offered some fantastic rewards for this campaign, including one-of-a-kind Phantom Hawk action figure, as well as pieces of original art from the first 5-issue arc. So if you're a new fan of Apogee or an old fan of Phantom Hawk, the story provides captivating storytelling that not only entices new readers, but offers more to the long-running fans for the series. And I hope we here at Apogee can count on your support and continued friendship. This is Nick Garber of Apogee Comics, creator of Phantom Hawk, hoping that you will back this project. And there's many more projects to come.
Nick Garber definitely brought his A game for that video. I love that video. Such a fan of it. It's an exciting one. Don't know why these two don't have videos. So I'm going to try to fix that real quick. And in the meantime, we'll just get this one directly off the Kickstarter. And I'll reload the page and see what went wrong.
Hey everybody, my name is Jordan Clark. I am the writer and co-creator of Up Mountain. If you do know me, you probably know me from Bitch Plan Triple Feature. I have a story in there about the watches and the dating. But I do want to tell you a little bit about my new project and kind of give you some reasons why you should check it out and possibly give us some money. So Up Mountain is a story that basically is surrounded by the question of heroes and community. So what is a hero's responsibility to the communities that they defend? and what is that community's responsibility to them? Is it wise to put so much stock into one person, no matter how powerful or all-knowing they might be? Is it wise to expect somebody to be there all the time, to protect you all the time, to save you all the time? And as a community, what should we do? Even though we have this person, what are our responsibilities to ourselves and to them? So the story is about a hero named Valor, who kind of follows Superman's origin slightly. Superman is technically an immigrant. He's from another planet. Our hero is from Panama. His parents kind of flee during the height of all the Noriega stuff. They come to America trying to give themselves and their unborn child a better life. Valor is born here, but his parents have to flee and go back to South America, so he's kind of left behind and adopted and raised by these people in the small town. As he develops and grows, he gets these powers similar to Superman. He's strong, he's fast, he can fly. He's not invulnerable. I mean, if you hit him enough, it's gonna hurt. But he does eventually become this big time superhero. But unlike Superman, he decides to stay in the small town that he grew up in. So they kind of form this almost symbiotic relationship. I mean, he is responsible for a lot of the tourism and the income into the small town. So they are dependent on him in more ways than just him protecting them. But something happens that I don't give away that kind of takes him out of the picture for longer than he's ever been. I mean, he's gone to space before. He's gone to the bottom of the ocean before. Been gone about a week, 2 weeks, but he usually comes back. But this time he's gone for a long time, long enough that people start to think that he might be dead. And this brings all kinds of stuff onto the town, but it also kind of raises people's questions in people's minds about what was he really ever doing there? Maybe he didn't belong there. Maybe he was something a little bit more sinister and kind of playing on the fears that people do have about immigrants in real life, and kind of how, even though people have lived next to each other for 10 years, have worked with each other for a long time, now with a lot of the fear mongering that's going on, people are giving just decent, everyday, hardworking people who are trying to immigrate into this country suspicious looks, dirty looks, and worse. So, taking that idea and transposing it onto this larger kind of, Superman-esque figure, I think is a really interesting thing that we dig into here. And hopefully it's something that you will enjoy. I'm joined on the project by Vince Underwood on art, Brittany Peer on colors, who has done stuff for Boom Studios. She did Misfit City. She did some Power Ranger stuff. And on letters, the now Eisner nominated Hassan Otumene El-Haou, who you might know from stuff like Strip Panel Naked, Panel by Panel, and he'll do lettering Shanghai Red coming out from Image Comics later in the year. So we've got a great creative team. They're doing some amazing work. I'm very lucky and humbled to be working with such talented people. But on that end, instead of doing rewards that are more kind of just sticker based and pin based, I mean, we have some of that stuff, but we really wanted to keep it focused on the book. So you'll see a lot of the rewards that we're doing are more along the lines of extra back matter for the book, looking into the creative process of each member of the team and kind of showing you, how I wrote the story, how Vince drew the story, how Brittany colored the story, how Haas lettered the story, and how all of those things kind of came together to create the final product, as well as kind of giving you a look at each of those processes in a way that will allow you, if you're somebody who's interested in making comics, to kind of get an inside look at how different people do what they do. So if you want to learn how to color, in what Brittany does, she'll kind of show you how she does what she does and how you can apply that to what you want to do, and on down the line. So we're very excited about this project. I think everybody is feeling a good energy, and hopefully that energy is going on to you. Hopefully you see the passion behind this project, and hopefully you decide that you'd like to help us bring it to life. So that's Up Mountain. please scroll down below, check it out, and hopefully you like it. Hopefully you tell somebody about it. Thank you.
All right. In the meantime, I did reload that page. That's an interesting book. I like that. What happens when the hero leaves for a while? So that's kind of cool. So if I did my job, there it is. Elk Mountains there. And now we can check out Crossing here. Crossing 2 of 3, the new series in the paranormal series.
Crossing will be a 6-issue miniseries, and we're back on Kickstarter to print and distribute issues 2 and 3. That's right, this is a double-sized campaign to fund not just 1, but the next 2 issues. Despite some mature, heavy-hitting themes, Crossing is a comedy about 2 people who wouldn't like each other under normal circumstances, much less paranormal, but have to work together if they're ever going to be free of each other. In the first issue, MC and Nina have a meet-cute with a locomotive, and it's a roller coaster of pain until the very end. In the next issues, we meet a support group of ghosts and hosts in the same predicament. Through it all, there's another mystery still to be solved, and these next issues are all about what's going on behind the scenes. Each comic is full color and will be published digitally and in print. Production is finished, and a print run of 500 copies of each is guaranteed when we hit 100% funded. Script for the entire series is complete, and we'll be rolling straight into issue 4 after San Diego Comic-Con this July. My name's Anika Jang. I'm the writer and creator of Crossing, Azteca, Angel with the Bullet, and the House of Montresor. Alex Cormick is an illustrator living in Tingsboro, Mass. He's worked with many publishers, such as Image Comics, IDW, Comics Tribe, Face on Tap, and Red Star Media. Mark Delaney is an Emmy-nominated animator and artist from Boston, Massachusetts. This Kickstarter campaign gets us to the halfway point in the series, but we need you to get us to the other side.
You guys got to cross on over to Kickstarter to check it out. It's very amazing, cool thing. I love goth chicks. So that you had me at the goth chick. You had me at the goth chick. Now let's check out Cthulhu Kids.
What would a Lovecraftian school for the naughty offspring of mythos characters look like? Hi there, cultists. I'm comic creator and artist Andrew Pawley. You might know me from my several successful Kickstarters for my comic Galaxafreaks. Along with writer Peter Duncan, we've created a title for you that mashes up the jubilant anarchy of vintage British kids comics and the existential terror of the infinite universe. Cthulhu Kids is a 32-page comic book full of short stories that will in turn tickle your funny bone and then cast you into the void of existential terror. Join Kid Cthulhu, Dagon Jr., Sidney Shoggoth, and the rest of the gang at the Miskatonic Academy for Outer Entities, the most exclusive school in the multiverse for the children of outer gods and elder things. The comic is finished, apart from some spaces for special guest appearances from Kickstarter backers, and all the pledge level products are well prepared. So we've come to Kickstarter to fund printing and distribution. A whole range of cool perks are available for membership of the infamous Kid Cthulhu Mythos Madness Club, exclusive hand-painted models, and even a special collector's box full of sketch covers and variant covers. Thank you in advance for all your support and bringing this project to life. With your help, we can spread the madness far and wide. So make sure you join in on the anarchic cosmic terror funnies and pledge today.
All right, guys. That looks fantastic. And Cthulhu seems to be a big theme in the last few years. So it's definitely an interesting take. Speaking of an interesting take, for those of you who like Chucky, I give you Ducky. We don't have a video. We don't have a video to play on this one. This is one rubber ducky you won't want to find in the bath. He'll be your friend till the end. Trouble is, he will be your end. The Rise of Ducky is now on Kickstarter. Ruby and the Warriors of Dion are on the program. Let's find out what's up with Ruby. All right, man. Who doesn't love Redhead Warrior? I know I do. So I'm going to be back in this. It's an epic fantasy tale about a young mage on a quest for vengeance. And I dig the werewolf or wolf. I'm going to have to read the book to tell you what it is. So Reign of Cthulhu here. Let's check out the augmented reality game. And no crossover with the other one, by the way. These two are completely different projects.
So you find yourself sitting at your favorite chill spot when a foe walks in. You know they're a rival Reign of Cthulhu faction because of the crest on their shirt. You scan them, player information pops up, the hero they main, user, level, win-loss record, and if they're ready for battle. Challenge them. Once the challenge is accepted, a portal opens up between both players and a chunk of the Cthulhu sunken city is pulled into our world. The battlefield can be 2 to 6 players in size. You get your first set of cards randomly drawn that represent minions, powers, and equipment, which can be placed on the battlefield. The battle takes place in turns. You and your opponent take territory with your cards, laying the groundwork for the war that lies ahead. The game has just begun, but we're at the end. The world's first native AR multiplayer game will soon be revealed.
So, if you're a gamer, man, that's got to be something that's interesting. I just hope they do more than shirts, because I don't want to have to see guys wearing the same shirt day after day, right? I don't think anyone wants that. Let's check out The Fist, issue number 2.
Hey everyone, this is Brandon Beatrose, writer and creator of The Fist, asking you to come out and support issue 2, which should be out sometime in July. If you're not familiar with the project, it is a crime noir vigilante story that takes place in 1918 Philadelphia. We have some really great rewards this time around, some specialties for Philly customers, so please check them out. Some cool clothing lines, hoodies, and things like that. Also, this is an all or nothing project, so if we don't reach our goal, we will not be funded. So please help make that happen, and everything should be out by July. And check out some of our artwork. You can also read issue 1 for free at blackstonecomics.com. So if you've not checked it out yet, please do so. And thank you very much.
I love the fact that it's centric to its hometown, and that it has, the Kickstarter itself has special things just for people in Philadelphia. That's so awesome. Let's move on to something brand new. I've never watched this video. This is an exclusive, well, not exclusive, but a brand new, I should say, video to me and you guys, which we are going to get to watch together for the first time.
Hi guys, my name is Jamie Premack, and I'm a comic artist, writer, illustrator, and so-called space goth. I'm also the writer and illustrator of the sci-fi webcomic series Binary Star, and this is my first ever Kickstarter, so I'm really excited about this. Binary Star is a sort of a comedy drama, something like Emperor's New Groove meets Enemy Mine, and it tells the story of a hot-tempered bounty hunter named Zaki, who is trying to capture an alien outlaw from an icy planet. Unfortunately, it turns out that every other bounty hunter in the galaxy got the same memo, and Zaki starts to realize that if she wants to turn in the bounty for this so-called snowman, she might have to become his #1 protector first. I launched this series last February, and since then I've been uploading 3 pages a week, and I've never missed a deadline. So we're actually on our 8th chapter already. I've also had the first 6 chapters printed as individual floppy comics, and we've sold more than 200 copies, so I think it's time to take Binary Star to the next level. I really want to collect chapters 1 through 5, which I consider to be Act 1, into a single trade entitled The Big Cosmic Joke. I'm hoping to print 400 trade paperback copies of this book, plus 100 limited edition hardcover copies. But both versions will contain an additional 10 pages of bonus material never before seen, including an encyclopedia about aliens that we've encountered in the series, world-building lore, bonus art, and of course a thank you page with the names of all the amazing people that contribute to this Kickstarter. Additional rewards will include the first ever art prints for Binary Star. I recently taught myself how to digitally paint, and so these are 2 of the 3 illustrations that will be available. Obviously on better paper than this. Other awards will include a PDF version of the series, stickers, original sketches, commissions. Because, you know, up until now, I've done this entire series by myself, you know, penciling, inking, promoting it at conventions, and I've just always dreamed of seeing it collected as a book. But unfortunately, I just cannot take this series to the next level by myself. I need your help to turn this dream into a reality. If you can pledge, you will have my eternal gratitude. And if you can't pledge money, that's okay. Just spread the word. Anything that you can do to help, I would really appreciate it. As with any Kickstarter, this is all or nothing. So I really want this to succeed so that I can share this book and these illustrations with you guys. So again, anything you can do to help, I'd really appreciate it. I'm so excited about this, you guys. You all are amazing. I love you. Thank you so much for listening.
So I love the passion in that. It's always great to see creators come on and talk about their project. I think that helps get it funded. I really do. I really think that being passionate on it really helps to connect yourself with the audience, as it were. Let's check out Project Axis, another great indie title. I saw something today that referenced imagine waking up after being hit by a car in the middle of the desert. So let's check out.
Imagine a man on the brink of creation. Imagine a creator in search of his creation. This summer, Dark Elf Designs invites you to journey into a place and time much like our own. A land full of shadow and betrayal, intrigue and deception. This is the world of Project Axis. Project Axis is a comic book written by Nick Gibson with pencils by Jason Johnson, inks by Kendra Hale, colors by Dexter Lopez, and letters by Francisco Zamora. We're looking to do a full print run in addition to other avenues. With your help, we can do just that. Check out the various award tiers below and consider supporting us. Child needs your help.
Kind of interesting, right? I kind of dig that. I like it. It's kind of a creepy video. I kind of like that. Kudos on the video. All right, so let's dive into the darkness.
Hi, I'm Mark with Into the Darkness, and this is footage of a cat playing with an Easter egg. Can I get the first issue artwork in there, guys? That's better, thank you. As I was saying, Into the Darkness is a new indie comics series looking to launch in the next couple of months, and we could really use your help to make that happen. Now, I'm not going to sit here and reiterate everything. You can read right below this video, where you can check out our characters, our storyline, and even view the first 7 pages of the book. Now, what I will do is tell you a little bit about myself and why Into the Darkness is worth your time. My name is Mark Zuptich. I'm a front-end web developer with a background in fine arts and creative writing, and just like you, I am absolutely passionate about comic books. I love this medium, and I believe it is one of the best ways out there to tell a visual story to a wide audience. Stop that. Stop it. Our story crosses a wide variety of genres. We have action, we have martial arts, we have horror, we have character-driven drama. Now, aside from myself, we also have my good friend Sean Barber. I think you're going to find that his ink work adds an amazing style and energy to my own pencils. Rounding out our art team is Chris Hall, a 12-year veteran of the industry and the house colorist for Iban Press. Overall, we've got an amazing team that is ready to deliver you unconstrained indie storytelling with AAA quality of writing and art. Now, as you can see behind me, the first 7 pages are... Guys, we have talked about appropriate music selections. When I'm showing pages, dark and foreboding. As I was saying, the first 7 pages are completely done, inked, colored, lettered, everything's finished. We have a good jump on the black and white artwork for the next 13. What we need from you is no, no, no. Too blatant, stop that. No. What we need from you is help getting these to our colorists to be finished, lettered, to the printer, and physical form so we can get them to your hands. Now, if that doesn't convince you, we've gotten some really good positive pre-release reviews. We also have a large following on Facebook, and at that note, I want to reach out to all of our wonderful fans on Facebook, Instagram, and our social media outlets and say thank you so much for your support in the last year when we put this project together. Thank you very much, and I look forward to meeting you as we take our journey into the darkness. Seriously, again, I hate you guys.
All right, so it's been a long show. I'm sorry a lot of people are hungry, and I'm sure it's just about time in some places to get dinner, but there's also in places in the world where it's the perfect time to get a hot lunch.
Hey, we're Nigel and Lau, and this is our Kickstarter campaign for the all-ages manga-style graphic novel Hot Lunch.
We ran a successful Kickstarter for The Samurai Chef, and we're back for our latest release. We started Mayamada to inspire creativity and to open up manga to an entirely new generation.
Comics are the gateway to a lifetime of reading. We're making stories that are accessible for young readers and readers young at heart.
We want to use manga to keep young people reading, so by taking part in this campaign, you can make that happen. Hot Lunch is a fun heist story with big goals and bold moves in the face of impossible odds.
It follows Taishi, a former chef turned master thief, set on a path to bring down a shadowy organization called the Circle of Flavor. Think the noble intent of Robin Hood meets a daring Ocean's 11 adventure.
But instead of George Clooney, a tiger in a suit. A really nice suit.
The story has been written, and if we hit our funding goal, we'll be able to produce the full graphic novel. That means artwork and printing.
As usual, we'll be working with the fantastic artist Penali, who's worked with us on our first 2 volumes, Samurai Chef and Sirius.
We've got some really cool rewards up for grabs, including the finished book, exclusive artwork, and the chance to donate a book to a young person or youth organization of your choice.
Why not send the book to those who will enjoy it the most? You can have a real impact and help young people as they continue on their reading journey.
We would love to have your support in this campaign. Check out the page below for more information and a free preview of what we've got so far.
And don't forget to back this project by clicking the green button and selecting your reward.
And if you don't have the money, you can still support by sharing the project with everyone you know. Friends, family, even strangers. Thanks for your support.
All right, right, guys. That's actually the show, believe it or not. Thank you to those of you who stuck through to the entire show. I want to take a quick minute to go back over everything in the list today, just to highlight it. You guys we caught the show during the usual news hours, so I hope we got some regulars from our news program to come by. So let's check out Kickstarters. All right, on today's show, we talked about how $1 matters. We talked about how you can make a better Kickstarter by going to Amazon, getting Kickstarter for the independent creator. We met the gentleman. We found our new sidekick, the Superscript. Cat and Mouse was a game we wanted to play. Power Knights #4 was intriguing. We Can Tell No Lie. Liar was an amazing Kickstarter that time is running out on, so act now. We went west and saw a new creative world brought to us to life by Garrett Gunn. We met the Sword Maidens and fell in love. We visited the wall and got spooked. We got really cold in the Galaxia realm. We saw Bobby Fulton and the Fantastics turn into a comic book. We found out that a comic book can come to life, one t-shirt at a time. The Phantom Hawk returned. We traveled up to Elk Mountain to figure out what happened to their hero. We crossed over to see a goth girl and a rookie train conductor. We found out that Ducky has returned. Cthulhu Kids showed us what these little kids were up to. Ruby and the Warriors started their journey for vengeance. We found a great app to get, Reign of Cthulhu. Project Access made us second guess our identity. The Fist inspired us to stand up. Binary Star wants to make this character a star. We dove into the darkness and we stopped to get a hot lunch. This has been Kickstarter Talk, the only show on the internet that gives you all the amazing Kickstarters from indie comics currently going on. If you have a Kickstarter that you want to be featured on this show, reach out to us at indieadvocates@yahoo.com. My name is Mr. Anderson, and I have been your host, and I am the advocating voice for Indie Advocates. We will see you next week for Kickstarter Last Rites.